After many years of being mortals, he had regained his sense of kindness and maturity. Chang-O always supported her husband. They were fine being mortals. However, Chang-O was troubled by the fact she missed her billions of sisters, the Star Children. She missed them dearly and would cry every night, calling out to them. She wanted to be with her family once again. Yi felt guilt for this, and only for the purpose of Chang-O's happiness, he summoned a low-class goddess. He begged her to allow him and Chang-O to participate in the Immortals' Feast, the feast where all the gods enter the heavenly garden and feast on peaches to keep their immortality and powers. The low-class goddess frowned. She told him they only grew enough peaches for the current gods, but she offered him 2 vials of god essence, one for him and one for Chang-O. It made them immortal, but would not give them powers. He agreed. The goddess warned him that once he had the vial, he would be immediately flung from the earth and flown to the heaven. He should not drink the vial on a cloudy night, for he will get lost. Yi happily took the vials and returned home late. He was exhausted. He happily told Chang-O about the vials. She wanted to drink them immediately, but with a yawn, he said that they had to wait. He didn't specify why. The next night, he went off to hunt to bring back food for the starving villagers. Chang-O was sad because she wanted to go home. Months passed and the liquid in the vials starting to perspirate. Chang-O, not out of greed, but out of worry, decided she would drink her vial to return home. But she realized each vial was half full since they perspirated, so she had to drink both to return home, meaning Yi couldn't be a god again. Chang-O decided she would drink both and beg the gods to give Yi back his powers. Chang-O drank the vials, but it was a very cloudy night. He had just walked in the door when he saw his love fly to the sky. He cried out to her and went to his knees and cried. Chang-O couldn't find her way home, and she landed on the moon. She suffered crying. She couldn't find the gods or her sisters, and she left her husband behind. She was suffering from loneliness. Yi prayed the mightiest prayers for a year, when finally the highest rank of gods heard him out, sensed his honesty, and gave him immortality without power. On a clear night, he shot up and found the moon. As he saw Chang-O, he leaped to her. The moment she saw him, her happiness was immense. So intense that she was glowing so bright the whole moon was glowing. And once the moon glowed, her sister saw her, and her son came to visit, and the family, once again, was together. Chang and her husband live in an extremely poor village, failing to progress. Chang desperately has always wanted a son. She begs her husband almost every night to allow them to have a child, but her husband snaps at her and tells her that they are too poor and that she needs to stop being so selfish. Chang doesn't understand why wanting a son is so selfish. Chang, behind her husband's back one night, decided that she will climb to the mountain near her village and call out to the wishing god for a son. As she climbs this mountain, she carries with her money and food. Every last bit of money and food she and her husband owned are hidden in her dress to offer to the gods. She must hide the offerings for fear thieves and wild animals would kill her for her gifts. As she nears the top, she is frightened by a ferocious tiger that is about to leap out at her and kill her. As the tiger jumps, though, a unicorn magically and gracefully appears and stabs it with his horn to protect Chang. Chang has marveled at the divine creature. The divine creature then speaks to her. He tells her that his name is Chi Lin and asks Chang why she's there. She places the offerings in front of him. She wishes to have a son. The unicorn smiled at her and told her that he is no wishing god, but he is a god of prophecy, and he can see that she will have a son. He will be a leader without followers, a teacher without students. He will be great and help the people, but he won't be recognized until he dies. Qilin bows his head, and from his horn forms a jade jewel. He tells her to wear it. It will protect her from the plague about to come. But once her newborn son arrives, she must pass the jade on to him. Chang asks Qilin about her family's financial situation. They cannot afford 3 mouths. Qilin assures her that it won't be a problem. A year later, a plague hits the town and many villagers die, including Chang's husband. and almost immediately after her husband died, she gave birth to her son, whom she named Kung Tu, whom we know today as Confucius. She gives the jade to her son, whom grows up rather ugly. He has a large forehead that overcasts his eyes. His entire head was rather large, and he was teased for it. However, during his life, he taught his villagers about manners, patience, respect, and love. And with hope, everything will work out. Many people believed in what he said, and their failing town was soon restored. Deep in a forest was a boulder, but not just any boulder, a magical boulder. And in front of this boulder, slowly, a stone egg had slowly formed, and out of this egg hatched a monkey. All the young other monkeys that lived in the forest were perplexed and thought that the stone egg was a blessing, so they adopted the monkey as one of their own. As the monkey grew older, the other monkeys told him of the demon of death. Every year he comes and eats most of them, so he decided he'd go to the village of humans and learn to be like them so he can protect him and his brothers. He joins the villagers and steals clothes, not knowing what money is, and imitates the humans and how they talk and communicate. Once he is ready and understood man, he decided to visit the greatest fighter there was in the village. He entered the man's cave where he trained students. The monkey told him his story. The man at first told him to deal with it, but the monkey wouldn't leave him alone. He hassled him and hassled him until he finally agreed. It wasn't until then he saw Monkey's potential. He later taught the monkey how to transform into 73 different things. He was the only student that was able to transform. Not even the master had mastered it, but was somehow able to teach it. Monkey boasted and bragged to the other students. This angered the master, since he taught his students about being bold instead of cocky. This angered the master so much, he banished the monkey from the school in an embarrassing way. But Monkey didn't care. He knew what he wanted, and that was how to defend his brothers. By the time Monkey returned to his home, the demon of death was already just beginning to feed on his brothers. Monkey challenged him. The demon laughed at him and accepted. They fought long and hard. For a period of time, the fight was equal, but then the demon of death slammed the monkey against a tree. Monkey was badly hurt, but just as the demon of death was about to kill him, the monkey suddenly transformed into a bodiless form. All that remained left of him was each hair on his coat. The death demon was confused. Then Monkey transformed every strand of hair into another monkey, and he ambushed and killed the death demon.
His brother went to the gods and told him of his unique ability, and he was then pronounced the Monkey King. The Monkey King, although caring and good-hearted, was very cocky. Monkey King pranced right into the Dragon King's cave and blatantly demanded a weapon. The Dragon King gave him a long pole to fight with. The Monkey King, happy with his new weapon, started to leave, but then was angry. He snapped at the Dragon King, upset that the Dragon King did not adorn him in fine garments. The Dragon King, furious with his ungratefulness, gave him his garments, but reported him to the highest of the gods. Dragon King made sure to give Monkey King a yellow sash. Told Monkey King that the sash was only given to the finest of warriors, but the sash was really something that prevented rebellion against the gods. The gods had been watching him, and to teach him a lesson, he would have to work for the gods. So every night for years, the Monkey King guarded the goddesses' doors at night, cleaned the dining rooms after a feast, and bathed the gods. But Monkey King, being the curious monkey he was, he one night while guarding, went off on a walk. He smelt something delicious. He exited the building and snuck into the sacred garden. He was really hungry, so the Monkey King ate tons of peaches. And then suddenly, Monkey King was powerful. He ate so much of the immortal fruit, he became a high-class god. He ran away and returned to Earth with his brothers. The gods attempted to recapture him, but he was equal to them now. However understanding, he was in the wrong. He agreed to give up half of his immortality, meaning he will die like a mortal would, but his spirit would roam forever with the gods. The gods had no choice but to take the only offer. They were surprised he did not attempt to attack the gods and take their power. He was more humble than they thought, and now today, the Monkey King is known for martial arts and only fighting when needed.